is to read this book called Positioning. Tonight's lecture is going to be on the book Positioning to kind of whet your appetite. And then I'm going to ask you to write a paper, maybe 3 to 5 pages, something like that, which summarizes what the book was about and what you gleaned from the book, what you came away from the book, and then you make a presentation to the class. So there are two things that you have to do. Well, three things. You got to read the book. You have to write a 3 to 5 page critique of the book, which I outline on how to do that. And then you got to make a PowerPoint presentation to the class, to the group. I'm here to help you succeed. So I'm here to give you career counseling, career advice, write you letters of recommendation, do whatever it takes for you to achieve your goals. The question comes up, what is positioning? And it's what we do as marketers to the mind of the prospect or to potential customers rather than what we do to the product. In other words, and see, I love this because by training, I'm a psychologist. And I just love the psychology and affecting people's behavior. And that's what you have to do as a marketer. Engage your customer. You got to make them feel attracted to your product. And you have to remember one thing. It's not about you. It's about your customer. And positioning helps you to do that. So that the emphasis is on the prospect and then to the product. Think it's not about you. It's all about the customer and the prospect. And if you understand that about marketing, you've gotten everything that there is to marketing. So, again, positioning is the act of creating a unique attribute or attributes in the mind of your potential customer or prospect. Okay? The prospect is the step before they are your customer. Okay? All right? You want everybody you meet to be potential customers. All right? And a accountant once told me this. And this is the magical word or the magical phrase that you should always remember. 1/3 of the people that you meet are going to like you. 1/3 of the people you meet are not going to like you. And 1/3 of the people aren't going to give a darn one way or the other. So the secret in life and the secret in marketing is to meet as many people as you can so that the third of those people that like you would have met. And you will be able to have an influence on people. You can't worry about those who don't like you. Get over it. I mean, your mother is going to be upset that they can't, that there are going to be certain people that don't like their little bumpkin, right? But you can't worry about it. What you do is you worry about the people that like you. And that's what you worry about. So it's the positioning is the act of creating a unique attribute or attributes in the mind of your potential customer so that when you mention the unique attribute, you think of that brand name. Think free association. So when they think of the position that you have created for your personal brand, it's magical. Oh, Tantillo. With Tantillo, you laugh and learn. Oh, with Tantillo, he is so friendly. He makes learning fun. He makes me feel good about learning. He makes me feel good about myself. You got to find out what it is that makes you unique to others. What is your position? And that's what you will spend your entire life doing. What is your position? What is it that people like about you? What is positioning? Okay, so let's come up with let's give some examples of what this positioning stuff is. So if I were to say to you, give me an example of an electric luxury car, what would come to mind? Tesla. That's right. That's right. And if I said performance and innovation footwear, what would come to mind? What about innovative, imaginative, and creative devices? Apple is innovative, imaginative, and creative devices. British cars are not known for their technology. You know the old joke that the Rolls Royce did not break down, it failed to proceed. So you're hitting on something. MGs, okay. I mean, or what was it, Jaguars. There were always problems, okay, with British technology. The only thing that the British had that really did well were the engines. It was the ancillary kinds of things that went with the their cause, okay, like the mechanical stuff where there are problems. So you buy a Land Rover because of something other than reliability. You buy it for the image, okay, and you hit and the marketing. BMW, in my estimation, is not a luxury. I'm sorry, not a comfortable car. It's a driver's car. That's position. That's positioning what I said. It's a driving car. It's not a comfortable car. Once you make that kind of designation, you're catching the idea of what position is, what comes to mind. BMW, you think of driving machine. Mercedes, I think you think more of comfort. Maybe I'm wrong, but that would be my idea of position. Okay. Okay. Now, some of the things or some of the events that make position, um, um, uh, help you to define what your position is going to be, is being the first. Being first is the best position. So the first person to fly solo across the Atlantic was Lindbergh. The highest mountain in the world is Mount Everest. Okay. And in terms of brands, Kodak was the first in photography. Kleenex was the first in tissues. Xerox was the first in plain paper copiers. And Hertz, could you believe that Hertz went out of business? Hertz was the first in rent-a-cars. Okay. Did you know that? No, you did not. Okay. Okay. So you should be aware that in the 1950s, when let's see, I would say not your parents, but your grandparents probably grew up, was known as the golden age of advertising. And advertisers focus their attention on product features and customer benefits. Um, uh, a, uh, a journalist slash marketer by the name of Rosa Reeves called it the unique selling proposition. What is the thing that makes a customer or a consumer want to buy a product? Why do you want to buy that Mercedes? Because it's a luxury car that really is well made. Okay? That's what you call your unique selling proposition. And that helps to define what your position is going to be. Okay? So that at the end of the era yielded many Me Too products. The Better Mousetrap was quickly followed by two more just like that, both claiming to be better than the first. You see, what began to happen is after they got the science down and they came up with the great product, my product's better than your product. That doesn't work. You have to begin to uniquely define why it's better in the mind of the consumer. And that's what marketing is all about. So the image era, which was created by a gentleman by the name of David Ogilvy. Okay. He had his own advertising agency. And when I had my own advertising agency, I wrote to David Ogilvy and asked him if I could use his textbook in a photo shoot I was doing. And of course, being David Ogilvy, wrote back to me and said, no, I couldn't. And he had a saying that how do you say this? Advertisement or advertisement? Okay. He would say advertisement. Every advertisement is a long-term investment in the image of a brand. Okay. And this is what he did as an ad. He took a brand by the name of Hathaway, Okay. And the number one shirt at the time in the 1960s was Arrow shirts. Arrow, Arrow shirts. And his Hathaway came to him and wanted him to become the number one shirt company in the US. And he came up with this ad, and I'll make it bigger, make it a little smaller. And it was this copy. I'm sorry, it was this graphic, and the copy was the man in the Hathaway shirt with an eye patch. What do you think of this? Now, remember, this was the. What do you? Why do you think this got so much attention? It might not be pleasing, but what is it saying about this guy? There's mystery to him. What kind of a man? How did he get his eye poked out? Was it a fight? Maybe I'll wear a shirt like that, and that shirt will make me unique or make me mysterious. It worked. Men found that at the time very intriguing. They wanted to know more about that. Okay. And it became the number one shirt. Why? Because he thought outside the box. And there were a series of ads, and there was an image to the Hathaway shirt. The man who wore the Hathaway shirt was unique. It wasn't like the men who wear the Arrow shirt, the nice people. These people were maybe on the edge. They were risk takers. They were people that wanted to position themselves differently. And that's what made the shirt different. Okay, here's another one. This is for the Rolls Royce. Here's a picture of the Rolls Royce. At 60 miles an hour, the loudest noise in this new Rolls Royce comes from the electric clock. What do you think's going on with this ad? Emphasize or to underscore the quietness of the car. All marketing. You see, the difference, gentlemen, in marketing is that we as marketers have to see things that the average person doesn't and get them to see it too. Because if they see it too, they're on the inside of the joke, or they're on the inside of the marketing. And that's good. Okay? Okay. Here's another one by Ogilvy. All right. And there's supposed to be a lemon in there in the Schweppes. And it says, you can see the lemon in the Schweppes bitter lemon. That's because Schweppes uses whole, fresh lemons, juice, pulp, peat, everything. Okay? So what they're trying to do here is emphasize that Schweppes uses the whole lemon and wants you to focus in on that. The beautiful thing here is that it's emphasizing or underscoring that Schweppes uses everything about the whole lemon. I mean, it's just, and that is the position. How to be seen in her and heard. Um, if everybody is good looking, okay, and handsome, if you're an actor and everybody is super good looking, how are you going to stand out? How are you going to position yourself so that people will, in fact, take notice? And that's what you have to do in marketing when you position a product. What is going to resonate with my customer? Okay. What is the benefit? Okay. We sell benefits, we don't sell features. Okay. Features are the observable characteristics. Benefits are what the product can do for me. You know, we say in politics, it's not what have you done for me, it's what have you done for me lately. That's what marketing is all about. What have you, in fact, done for me? Okay. So to succeed today, you must create a position in the prospect's mind that takes into account the company's strengths, weaknesses, and those of one's competitors. Remember, here you go. IBM did not invent the computer. Sperry Rand did. IBM was first to build a computer in the mind of the prospect. That's what you must do. Remember, Elon Musk, didn't invent the electric car. He just made it part of his brand. And what did he do? The luxury electric car. Other than that, they were ugly Priuses. He added design to it. You can't forget Elon Musk. He's a genius. If you just think that Elon Musk is just an inventor, you're missing it. He's a brand. He understands the eccentricity and what that all does. Okay, give you an example. This weekend, I went to lease a car. And at one point, I had to do an Elon Musk. That's it. I'm leaving. I am not buying this car. Okay, got out of it. No. You can't leave. You can't leave. I said, I'm leaving. And then I got the price I wanted. Okay. So we have to, you okay. You'll love this. There was a friend of mine. His father was a great lawyer. And what he did was he was representing a person that was disabled for the rest of his life. And he was going to, the only relief was to be on his back every day. And so what he did in this summation to the jury is he gave the summation lying on his back. The jury gave him the award. Why? Because he used a tactic that resonated with the jury. That's what you have to be. You have to be always willing to position and to relate to the people that you're communicating with. Okay? So the Sperry Rand, if we look at Sperry Rand, who was the inventor of the first computer, uh, they were the 15th century Christopher Columbus. Why isn't America called Columbia? Why was it, in fact, called America? Well, there was this guy by the name of Amerigo Vespucci who knew more about marketing than Christopher Columbus. Okay, see what Columbus did was he positioned the New World as a separate continent distinct from Asia, which caused a revolution in his day. He didn't think, how can I, in fact, make America part of Europe in a way, or not be threatened by it? And as a result, uh, nobody wanted to have anything to do with um, with um, uh, Christopher Columbus and the New World. All right. So, um, all right. What happened was Americus Vespucci was the one that wrote extensively of his discoveries and theories before he died. And Spain granted him Castilian citizenship and gave him a major state post, which resulted in Europeans crediting him with the discovery um, of America and named it after him. And Columbus died in jail. So it was the better marketer, Americus Vespucci, that was the better marketer and got America named for him. Columbus wasn't good. He was always complaining. He was known as being a conqueror, and was always in conflict. Okay. Um, a gentleman by the name of a Harvard psychologist, Dr. George Miller, stated that the average human cannot deal with any more than 7 units at a time. Then that's why there are 7-digit phone numbers, the 7 wonders of the world. There's 7 card stud, Snow White, and the 7 dwarfs. Okay. And think rent a car, Hertz versus Avis. And there is no more Hertz. And Avis is, by the way, is owned by Budget Rent a Car. If you don't know that, they were bought by Budget a few years ago. Okay, so Hertz was number one, and what Avis wanted to do is to compete with Hertz, so they used positioning. Avis emphasized in their advertising that they were number two, and as a result, their campaign, Avis's campaign, was "We Try Harder." Okay, it's what we call in advertising against strategy position. If a company isn't first, then it has to be the first to occupy the second position. Isn't that interesting? So, in positioning, we look for the hole and then we fill it. What are the products currently in the marketplace not satisfying the needs of prospects? Apple desktop computers, IBM missing the desktop software market by giving it to Gates. What a bunch of jerks. That's real idiots they were, giving that away because they thought they were in the hardware business. Okay. They just gave it to him. Well, I mean, look, Gates' father schnooked him. It wasn't Gates. It was Gates's father and Gates's mother. Gates's father was a lawyer who outschnooked, had his own law firm in Seattle and was able to outschnooker them. Okay. The corporate guys. They're called Republican lawyers. Republican lawyers are easy to outsmart. Okay. Just as long as you distract them. Okay. Just look at the last election. I mean, it's just they're know-it-alls. They just know it all. Please, all right. You see it over and over again. How people who are very, very smart get very outschnooked because they don't look at life from the street component. Give me a streetwise kid and a kid that grew up in the on the right side of the tracks or the upper side of the tracks, and I'll count my money. I'll bet the money on the kid from the poor part because they know how to fight. Okay, so repositioning something is something that really is something that gives brands a new life. And I like to talk about Listerine and how it repositioned itself. When I was a kid growing up, the only mouthwash that you had was Listerine, and it was terrible. I mean, you used Listerine. It was the only thing you had. And what happened is that Lavoris came around, and Lavoris positioned itself as the mouthwash that was pleasant tasting that you would get in the dentist office. And Scope was a Procter and Gamble product, okay, that was pleasing to use, and you could buy it in the drugstore. Okay. And those two brands were really taking away market share from Listerine. And then Listerine got smart and said, and repositioned itself, is the taste you hate. And it's going to kill all those germs. And if you want to kill all those germs, you gotta hate the taste. Brilliant. How could something be so good tasting for you kill all those germs? It destroyed their market share for those two. Lavoris you can't even find, and Scope, what can I tell you?